Good evening. You're watching the 7 o'clock English news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate celebrates the Armed Forces Day, which falls on 11th of December. The Omani-Chinese Friendship Committee's meeting stresses the importance of benefiting from Oman Air services to the city of Guangzhou to enhance cooperation between the two countries. And the Ministry of Ministry of Commerce and Industry prepares a draft regulation for the registration of agencies in charge of verifying liquid fuel stations. Those are the headlines, and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta of the Republic of Kenya on his country's independence anniversary. His Majesty the Sultan received two cables of thanks from custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, in reply to His Majesty's cables of condolences on the death of both their Royal Highnesses, Prince Turki bin Abdulaziz Al Saud and Prince Salman bin Fawaz Al Saud. The Sultan celebrates today the Armed Forces Day, which falls on 11th of December. The Sultan's Armed Forces have accomplished a number of achievements in various organizational, training and armament aspects, thanks to the Royal General's attention and care accorded by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, the Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces. The Armed Forces are taking wide strides towards construction and development in line with the requirements of each stage, performing their sacred national duty of protecting the soil of the homeland and preserving its gains and achievements effectively. Raising up fighting capabilities and providing an integrated necessary arming system in accordance with the current stage requirements were the focus of the Armed Forces development until it became deterrent force, preserving the homeland and its achievements, as well as the Omani values and human resources, were the aim of the plans for whom the achievements of the Renaissance will be transcended with dedication and sincerity for the homeland and the Sultan. The Royal Army of Oman RAO held a ceremony in the Governorate of Muscat to celebrate the Armed Forces Day. The ceremony, held at shooting grounds of Sultan's Armed Forces Training Regiment, reflected development and modernization reached by the Royal Army of Oman of organization, training, qualification and arming. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Hinai, advisor of the state. The event included pinning long service and good conduct medals on a number of army affiliates. The RAO music bands also put up shows and various displays. The event also witnessed various other military shows, reflected training skills and experiences of the affiliates. The 11th Infantry Brigade and Firak Forces of Royal Army of Oman held a ceremony on the occasion of Armed Forces Day in the Governorate of Dhofar. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Abdulaziz bin Mohammed Al Rawas, advisor to His Majesty the Sultan for Cultural Affairs. The celebration included various military shows and a display of skills performance like marching in slow motion and many other traditional arts. During the ceremony, medals of long service and good conduct were pinned of a number of officers and personnel of the 11th Infantry Brigade and Firak Forces in recognition of their sincere efforts and dedication in performance of their sacred national duty. The celebration of Armed Forces is considered a valued occasion to renew loyalty and allegiance to the builder of the Omani Renaissance. On behalf of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said received in his office today His Excellency Chris Pirpani, Ambassador of the Republic of South Africa, to the Sultanate to bid him farewell at the end of his tour of duty as his country's ambassador to the Sultanate. The ambassador expressed his thanks to His Majesty the Sultan for the support extended to him during his tour of duty in the Sultanate from His Majesty, the government and the Omani people, which had enabled him to carry out his duty. He wished His Majesty good health, happiness and long life, and the Sultanate further progress and prosperity under the wise leadership of His Majesty. His Highness Said Asad thanked the ambassador for the efforts he exerted in serving the relations between the two countries, wishing him permanent success and the friendly people of South Africa further progress and prosperity. The participants of the 5th International Conference of Oman's relationships with the countries of Horn of Africa forwarded a cable of thanks and gratitude to His Majesty the Sultan on his directives and visions to hold this conference, expressing their sincere appreciation for the attention extended to them, which enabled them to come up with successful results and fruitful recommendations to serve scientific methods in the Sultanate and the Republic of Comoros, and to boost horizons of cooperation and bonds of firm relations between the two countries. The Sultan's national carrier Oman Air held a ceremony to mark the introduction of flight to the Chinese city of Guangzhou from Muscat. During the event, the members of the Omani Chinese Friendship Committee held a business meeting in which they stressed the importance of this flight to enhance relations between both countries in various fields. During the meeting, the Chinese entrepreneurs expressed their good impression. The Chinese businessmen were briefed about the investment opportunities in the Sultanate, in addition to the desire of both countries to enhance the trade volumes, which exceeded more than $17 billion. Oman Air clarified to the Chinese businessmen its expanded projects, which will link east and west of Asia with air network that enhance touristic and economic exchange, especially with the Chinese people who wishes to expand their businesses in the Gulf region through Muscat. The Media Committee of the Municipal Council elections for the second term reviewed outcome of the works related to media preparations aspects of the elections through point, audio and visual means. It further discussed the media coverage, preparations of the elections on 18th December in the Unified Elections Center in the Governorate of Muscat for the voters of Governorates of Dhofar and Musandam. Unified Center in the Governorates of Dhofar for voters of Wilayats of Governorates of the Sultanate, except voters of Governorates of Dhofar votes for members of an election committee in offices of the Excellencies Walis in the Wilayas, votes of Omani citizens of Sultan's embassies in GCC countries and trade office in Dubai, as well as media coverage for elections taking place on 25th of December in all governorates of the Sultanate. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Nasser bin Suleiman Al-Seibani, Deputy Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television, head of the committee. Still to come in our news bulletin, a conventional boat race is held in the Wilayah of Sohar, witnessing strong competition among the competitors. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. 118 cases of abuse of children were recorded by the public prosecution in 2016. This was revealed in a dialogue session at the Shura Council, which entitled Bullying and Immoral Practices in School Environment. The session discussed bullying cases in schools, while recording a case of assault on a student with a sharp object after a quarrel broke out between the students inside a school in the Wilayat of Quriyat. During the session, they called for unified efforts from bodies concerned before such cases reach to a dangerous level. The Director General of Standards and Metrology of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry prepared a draft regulations for the registration of agencies in charge of verifying liquefied fuel stations in accordance with the Law of Measurement and Calibration issued by Royal Decree number 17 of 2013. The regulation authorizes the agencies of relevant companies to do the calibration and verify the liquid fuel stations to ensure the quantity sold to consumers is accurate as per the terms of this regulation. The regulation is in line with the government trend towards enhancing cooperation with the private sector by involving it in the activities related to standards and specifications. Tough penalties will be imposed on those who misuse or do not comply with the approval standards and controls. The Directorate General of Passports and Residence in the Royal Oman Police seeks to provide an excellent service to the customers through the usage of modern technology. The services provided by the Directorate General also included visa applications, resident civil status, and many others. It's worth mentioning that the Royal Oman Police is keen to provide police services for citizens, and efforts are being exerted to fulfill this goal. At the media conference held in the Comoros Islands, His Excellency President Ghazali Othman praised the current Omani-Comoros relationships and commended the success of the 5th International Conference on Oman's relationships with the countries of Horn of Africa. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Rubai.
His Excellency President Ghazali Othman of Comoro commended the efforts of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos on international level for establishing Oman's role as active regional and international player for peace. At the press conference with the Omani media, His Excellency the President praised the current Omani-Comoro relationships. He said his country's ties with the Sultanate is a unique, deep-rooted and historical one, expressing his hope towards enhancing them on cultural, economic and tourism level to serve the interest of both brotherly people. His Excellency the President said his country is opening up for the investments and he would like to see Oman is setting up a business in Comoro. He added his government is ready to amend some of the policy to attract investors. On the 5th International Conference on Oman relationship with countries of Horn of Africa, the President expressed his satisfaction for the success of the conference and the importance of following the recommendations and results of the conference, where he issued his directives to the Minister of Education in order to be considered to be included in the curricula. It's worth mentioning that the 5th International Conference on Oman's relationships with the countries of Horn of Africa, organized by the National Records and Archives Authority of the Sultanate of Oman, concluded its sessions of a 3-day conference held here in Moroni, the capital of Comoros Islands.
Conferences like this, it is very important in terms of documenting the history of Oman in this region, purified it from the misconception. As we've seen from the paper of today, there are many themes, which is really very important.
Conference, I can say that it's so important for all population from Comoros, because we know we have a connection with Oman. But before we can say that we know every story from Oman, but no, it's okay. We are so happy, firstly. We are so happy to see all family there in Comoros, and we wish to come there because exactly we have a family in Oman, exactly in Sur, Madinat Sur. I'm from Al-Ghailani Wadi Siddiq.
Scholars and researchers from over 11 countries, including America, Belgium, Russia, Algeria, Egypt, Kenya, Tanzania, and their counterparts, Sultanate of Oman and Comoros Islands, have had intensive discussions through 45 research papers that highlighted significant parts of the history and cultural aspect of Oman and its humanitarian contribution to human civilization in the countries of Horn of Africa, including Comoros, Ethiopia, Madagascar, Mauritius, Djibouti, Somalia, as well as Socotra. After these 3 days of a series and constructive discussions, the participants reached recommendations. The importance of fostering the cultural, political, and socio-economic ties between the countries of the Horn of Africa and the Sultanate of Oman. Enhancing the Arabic language teachings in the Horn of African countries in general and in the Comoros in particular, and highlighting the exemptional and historical retentions between the Swahili and Arabic language in order to strengthen the links between the countries. Allowing more scholarships to the students who wish to continue their studies in the common history and civilization between the Comoros and Oman. Shedding the light in the role of Oman in spreading Islam civilization as the Islamic heritage in the countries of the Horn of Africa.
I'm an archaeologist, and we've been doing archaeological excavations here on the Comores for the last 2 years to trace the very beginning of Omani contact with the Comores. And we found some sites that is very exciting, because we're finding really for the first time evidence of trade connections in the 8th century of the Common or Christian era. So that is 1100 years ago. Omani ships were going right round the world, bringing material back from China, material, spices from India, and here from East Africa, ivory and gold and crystal and many other commodities that are found along this coastline. This is the beginning of globalization, and the Omani peoples were one of the key people who operated these global networks.
Through history, the Sultanate of Oman played an active and constructive role in historical and cultural, economic, and particularly in maritime and strategic aspects. Hence, holding this conference here has given an opportunity to review the march of history and civilization between the Sultanate of Oman and the countries of Horn of Africa in order to strengthen the relationships, and with that, the desired goal of the conference has been achieved. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Comoro Islands.
Al-Dun Theatre for Culture and Arts concluded its theatrical activities among local and Arab participation. The activities of Al-Dun Festival portray social and cultural issues of Arab citizens and showcased youth talents in acting and stage. The theatrical teams which took part in the festival competed in 3 categories, namely child, adult, and street stage. A number of workshops were held in the sidelines of the festival in fields of school theatre and mime rendered by theatre critics and stage performers and those interested in issues of Arab theatre. More than 10,000 people took part in the walkathon, which took place at Al Quram Nature Park in Muscat to mark World Diabetes Day. The walkathon embodied the logo Fight Diabetes and aimed at highlighting risks of diabetes. Conventional boat race was held in the Wilayat of Sohar, starting from Al-Mashar to Silver Jubilee Park. The 2,500-meter long race witnessed a strong competition among competitors. Activities of the race were held under the auspices of Air Vice Marshal Mathur bin Ali Al-Ubaidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman. At the end of the race, prizes were handed to the winners. And now for the general weather forecast. Around the Salted, clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the northern parts of the governorates, and the rest of the Salted will have clear skies. Winds will be west to north, westerly light to moderate, occasionally active, and seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 2 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before into tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultan celebrates the Armed Forces Day, which falls on 11th of December. The Omani-Chinese Friendship Committee meeting stresses the importance of benefiting from Oman air services to the city of Guangzhou to enhance cooperation between the two countries. And the Minister of Commerce and Industry prepares a draft regulation for the registration of agencies in charge of verifying liquid fuel stations. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the newsroom and the studios, thanks for watching. Good night.